Hey horror fans, welcome back to Room 237, coming at you with yet another zombie review. And it is with great pains in me to say I'm doing George A. Romero's Survival of the Dead. Which also comes with this slip cover. Now, Survival of the Dead was unfortunately George Romero's final film. Now, on the back of this, it says 2008. Wikipedia says 2009. The DVD came out in 2010. Either way, I don't care. It was his last film before his death in 2017. May he rest in peace. And the whole thing is a damn shame because this movie sucks. Yeah, George Romero made a bad zombie movie. Time Out New York, a bloody good time. I know he had plans. He had plans to do 2 more sequels, film them back to back if his schedule allowed it. I don't know if they were both going to be called it or if one was, but it was to be called Road of the Dead. That would have been really neat. Now, this is the only Dead film to serve any kind of continuity, because the soldiers who stole all the main characters' shit in Diary of the Dead, it opens up with that, and those soldiers are our main characters. Alan Van Sprang is the star, along with, look up their names because I don't remember them. Anyway, he's with a few soldiers. You know, one is, the hell am I looking at? I'm not even looking at the right movie. Fucking A. Athena Carcanis. She was Agent Perez in the Saw films. And there's also the kid who was in Saw 6. Anyway, they're soldiers just trying to find a place to go. Also, there is this island called Plum Island off the coast of Delaware. It's an Irish island where there has been a generations-long Hatfield-McCoy type feud between the O'Flinns and the Muldoons. And it's even gone down to the zombies. O'Flynn thinks the dead should stay dead. The Muldoons believe they could be rehabilitated. Yeah, you know, the last time I saw that was in 1985's Day of the Dead with Bub. Anyway, O'Flynn, the guy that plays O'Flynn is Kenneth Welsh. Kenneth Welsh. He's Canadian, so I'm guessing the accent is part of the acting. He is like store brand Malcolm McDowell. It's really all he is. What he reminded me of anyway. I just kept thinking, you know, this might have been a little bit better with Malcolm McDowell. You know, he's going around shooting the dead, and Muldoon, who pretty much, I'm guessing he's like the wealthiest person on the island or whatever, the lawmaker, he pretty much banishes him. He exiles him. Takes a few friends with him, one of which is played by Wayne Robson, who he was in one of the A Living Dummy episodes of Goosebumps. He was the gas station guy in the first 2 Wrong Turns. And it's just, okay. Soldiers and that kid, they find a truck, they meet up with him, they go back to the island. That's the movie. And I don't know what Romero was going for. There's really no social commentary or satire that I could pick up. But this movie is... This is the Batman and Robin of of Romero's Dead series. It really is. It is silly. Not really a whole lot of zombie stuff until the very end. And it is all CGI. Until the end. You get, at the end, during like the showdown, you get one guy who gets ripped in half. Yeah, you see his spine, intestines, and everything. Cool. The other guy gets his scalp ripped off. And then the zombies eat a horse. A pretty black horse. That's all practical, but the rest is all horrendous CGI. Worse than Diary of the Dead. Diary of the Dead, I kind of went with it because, yeah, it's found footage. You got to get the effect as you're shooting. This is a studio film. Well, all studio films. This is a film. I don't know why, like, Greg Nicotero. Actually, I want to see who did the fucking special makeup effects. Francois Deganay, it's a French name. Special makeup consultant Greg Nicotero. I don't know why Romero got so heavy on the CGI. Now, Diary of the Dead, yeah, the story had its flaws, but the CGI was the main problem I had. This movie is just bad across the board. Yeah, the CGI is fucking awful. But, okay. So, Dawn of the Dead, the original, a masterpiece horror film. Masterpiece zombie flick. It's just a masterpiece film. It's classic. Timeless. Yeah, you had parts where, like this one part where a guy pies a zombie in the face. It's silly. But this whole movie, I literally just got done watching it. And the last time I saw it, this was probably about 8 years ago. There's a part, cause they find O'Flynn, like they decide to meet up with him because even though he was banished from the island, took a couple friends on a little dinghy, it then jumps 3 weeks ahead. He has somehow made an ad for Plum Island, like it's a place to get away from zombies. Put it on YouTube. That's how they found it. And then when they get to the little harbor, it's rigged with TNT. He's got more guys with guns. And it's just, there's this whole, like, how much for a boat to Plum Island? And they're like, all that you got. How much for the boat? All that you got. But of course, like, it's just the shot of the shack. You can't see anyone. And one guy's like, this is just a scam. You just get people to come down here so you can take all their stuff. And he's like, it was going pretty well till you showed up. Like, just silly dialogue like that. And then the guy throws a grenade at the shack. It blows the front of it up. And you see one guy standing there, two guys, one on each end, with their guns, all black, like, looking like a cartoon. A cartoon explosion. And it's just stupid shit like that throughout the whole movie. Also, when the soldiers find the kid, they run into this group of rednecks who, they're having a fire, they're all sitting around. They all have over-the-top cartoony redneck southern accents. In Pennsylvania, because it opens in Pennsylvania. They were like, well, they gained up on us, like, so we took care of them. So it goes over, and all their heads, which are still alive, are on all these sticks. All CGI. Kill all the rednecks. Take the kid with them. I will say the movie is fast-paced. Up until they get to the island, then it kind of drags. Because the whole reason why the zombies go after the horse is because Muldoon, even though Muldoon wants to rehabilitate the zombies, when it shows him doing that, he's just shooting them all anyway. So yeah, Muldoon has two twin daughters. One we see for a good part of the film. The other one we don't see till the third act, and she's a zombie. He uses her as an example. It's like, okay, because they put the zombies in, like, this fenced off area on a farm. And they tried pigs. They're trying to see if they can take a bite out of something that's not human. She is very into horses. I think the term is equestrian. Loves her horse. So they put her horse in there. And of course she doesn't do anything. And it's just big shootout. Zombies get loose. And yeah, the one guy gets ripped in half. Good practical effects. A guy gets scalped. Most of it is very cartoony. I mean, there was one cool thing where a guy takes an axe, but when he goes like this, the head flies off and goes into a zombie chick's head. But everyone's just acting foolish. And so, like, Muldoon wants O'Flynn to admit he was wrong. The live daughter gets bitten by the zombie one. And of course, when she gets bitten, she's like, "You bitch." So he wants him to admit he's wrong, and he won't. Each one has one bullet left. And, of course, Muldoon cheated, shot him. So O'Flynn has one bullet left. And, all the carnage is done. The two soldiers, there's two left, are with the kid. They're going to take the money from the truck and go somewhere else. The live daughter sees the zombie one take a bite out of the horse. So she's like, oh my god, it's true. It will happen. O'Flynn shoots his own daughter. Granted, she got bitten, but he shoots her because, that the feud is that important to him. And it's like he shoots her, and then the soldier guy's like, you okay? He's like, right is right. I'm good. Yep. And so then all the other zombies just start eating the ones that are left, just tear this horse apart. Yeah, practical. The biggest practical effects, other than the guy that got ripped in half, was on a fucking horse. It's such a shame that this was Romero's final film. And yeah, it got terrible reviews. It got ravaged. And I don't know if that, killed his spirits or what. But he didn't really have plans to make another one until I think it was like a year or so before he died. It is very unfortunate because this is his swan song. He was such an imaginative. He was a very unorthodox director. He wasn't all about setting up the scenes and getting the right thing. He made his movies in the editing room. He's a very shoot from the hip kind of, guy. But he was able to make such classic films. We wouldn't have The Walking Dead if it wasn't for George Romero. And, his inspiration. And this is the last movie we got. At first I was like, well, Diary of the Dead, I didn't hate that as much as I used to when I got done watching it. This movie, I'm literally shaking my head. And I try to make a mental note of certain parts so I could talk about it. I literally just got done watching it and I've already forgot. It's forgettable. I don't know what he was going for. Maybe, if he was just going for, hey, let's just have fun. Let's just, not worry about anything, layers or anything like that. Just have a fun movie. It failed at that. There's not a whole lot of zombie stuff, really. You get some in the beginning, maybe a little bit in the middle, and then it's all pretty much back-ended. I'm not a fan of this movie at all. Would I go as far as say I hate it? Yeah. I do. How many part 6s are usually good? I mean, not many. Friday 13th is the only one I can think of. You know, he did do something different. And hell, there's a lot of survivors in this. It doesn't feel like an apocalypse at all. Just, it feels like someone trying to do Romero. That's what it feels like. And doing bad at it. I have all the respect in the world for George A. Romero and his legacy, but this movie just isn't worth it. I know I didn't go that in depth with it, but this movie doesn't deserve it. And there's just not much of a plot. And all the fucking CGI. CGI is fucking horrendous in this. It's terrible. Yeah. Survival of the Dead. Bad movie. It's a disgrace. But, you know, it was Romero's last film. And it's a shame. I wish he had the time to do at least one more, and I bet it would have been better. But anyway, sorry for the bleak kind of review, but I just don't like this movie at all. But hope you enjoyed watching me rant, so thank you for watching.